Brewsing Banter Podcast. Brewsing Banter Podcast. What up? Welcome to Brewsing Banter Podcast. I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, is the legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
I got water, I got juice or whatever. It's like, y'all need twin legs? Matter of fact, I do.
My question to everybody is, does Delaware have an actual culture? This is the podcast that we talk about beer, but we also talk about a lot of things that's happening in the world. Politics, movies, anything really that comes to our mind while we're here sampling these brews. Grab a drink and pull up a chair.
Yeah, what up, everybody? It's your boy 302 Yoda. This is Brewsing Banter Podcast. This is a very special edition. You know, I had to take some time out for this and go ahead and hook this up for y'all. So, I'm not going to do too much talking. Shout out to the rest of the Brew Crew who couldn't be on here today. Shout out to Rob G, Debonair and the Great, and also Lou Belgium. All right, today we got a special guest here. I would consider him a serial podcaster. We could say that. Miami's favorite DJ, Drink Champs, co-host and co-creator. And he also got Fatherhood Podcast. That's why I call him a serial podcast. He's doing a lot in the business right now, So I just want to go ahead and bring him on in. I want y'all to welcome DJ EFN to the podcast.
What up? Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah, all that shit. Rob G, he's not on today. It's just me riding solo with four of us. But Rob G handles the horns and the claps and all that shit. So
nice.
I'm riding solo today. But we'll make it. What is happening?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on, man. But normally what we do on our regular show is that we like to find out before we get into anything, find out what everybody's drinking. And so you can, even though I know we talked about it, you said you weren't drinking today, but you did bring on two beers with you, so we can go ahead and put those out there. What beers did you grab?
I did. We got a beer coming up on Drink Champs, via Drink Champs. Let me see.
Move it over some. There you
go. J Wakefield is the brewery that's actually right next door to where we filmed Drink Champs in Wynwood, Miami. And Make Some Noise is the name of the brew. And then I also have this joint, Tech from Smith & Wesson. Let me put it over here.
Yeah,
did this with Hip Hop Craft Beer, I believe is the name of the guys that did this one.
Okay, and it's a hazy.
It's an IPA.
Yeah, double hazy.
And then I'd be drinking. I don't know if you can see it. Let me pull it up. I'd be drinking micheladas, which is a beer cocktail.
Yeah, I noticed the cup all the time. That cup stands out like crazy.
Yeah. I got my own cup coming out. I'm a part of this company. They're out of California called the Go Michi Co. And I got my own branded cup called the Crazy Michi. And check out for that as well.
Okay. Damn. I told you you into everything, man.
You got to try it, man. I got these kids now, too. So, you got to keep working, bringing in that revenue.
Man, you ain't got to tell me I got 3. I already know.
I got 2. So, you know how it is.
So what I'm popping with today is from Montclair Brewing Company. This is just their regular logo. It's they're out of Montclair, New Jersey.
Nice.
Black owned, so something dope. Hoboken Farms and Maple Scotch Ale, and this thing's coming in at 7.9%. So I don't think I'm probably not doing nothing else after this. So
yeah, man. People don't know, man. Beer be getting you nice. You're getting them 9%. You get them 10, 11%.
I had one that was 19.
Oh my God!
Out of Philly, man.
I can't even imagine that. That don't even make sense.
Shout out to Back Brewing. Yeah.
That was a beer, man?
That's a beer.
What kind of beer was it?
19%. I can't even remember. I know it tastes really like honey, but it's smooth and like 19%. You would have never known, man. Never known.
And those are the ones those are the sneaky ones.
Those are sneaky ones. I love it.
If it tastes good and it's smooth and you're just like, oh, this guy could down this. And then that's the thing about beer that people don't get.
Right.
You could it's refreshing and you'll drink a bunch of them before you know it, put you on your ass. You're done.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder if that's why you don't see a lot of black and brown people drinking it, is because they don't think that it's going to take them to where that maybe the Henny or whatever may take them to.
Remember, there's a lot of negative connotations when it comes to the history of like beer and alcohol when it comes to black and brown communities and Native Americans and stuff. So I mean, that's probably plays a role in it as well. But you know, drink responsibly, obviously, for everybody out there. But there's a lot of rich history when it comes to brewing, and you know, and we need more minorities involved in you know, in the brewing process and creating these brands, which we've been obviously consuming forever.
Right.
So we need to get on the other side of it.
And that's what us at Brewsing Banter podcast try to do, is try to make sure that we put some black and brown faces on the screen so people can see that yo, we do this, and it's a lot of money to be made in craft beer that people really don't know about because they kind of just shy away from it. But that's what we here for. So what happened was, one time I saw on I was watching Drink Champs, and I noticed that you had the Crown and Hops.
Yeah, shout out to Crown and Hops.
Yep. Yeah, those are they friends of the podcast as well. But yeah, definitely that Crowns and Hops. And I was like, oh, they got the 8 Pills Trill on it. And you know, you don't see that with our community, especially with the platform that you have, such a big platform. It's rare that you see like a craft beer display, you know?
Right.
And that just was like, I was like, oh yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, that's them. Also, Beer Culture. If you know those cats, I put some of their beers out there, and then a lot of local breweries around my way. I try to always represent the local guys that are out here. And yeah, man, I try, and you know, and then I drink this stuff, anything that I like. Like, I'm not gonna shy away from some bigger, you know, companies and corporate stuff that if I like it. And sometimes there's nothing to drink, and there's only crappy beer, and you might see that sometimes on Drink Champs too.
Yeah. So do you only drink beer? Because I don't never notice you actually drinking like everything else everybody else is drinking.
So we've been doing Drink Champs for 5 years now, right?
Yeah.
And so I started before I even had my kids. We started the show, and early on, I was always known as like a big rum drinker. I mean, I still like rum, but I was a big rum drinker. I would drink any kind of liquor, hard liquor, but rum was my liquor of choice. And then and I hated beer, just so you know. Growing up, like I started out like everybody else. I drank the quarts, and I had the crappy Coronas, and you know, when I was younger. And then but once I got into liquor, I was like, why would you drink all this beer and get bloated and want to go take a piss and do all this stuff? And I used to diss my homies that would drink a lot of beer. And then I met my girl, and she was into like craft beer, and that's the first time I've heard that. It's normally the other way around. You put me onto it, and then she was trying to flip it like, oh, you know, the liquor is bad for you, and the hard liquor is, you know, truthfully, it equals out, because if you drink a lot of beer, it's gonna be the same.
Yeah.
But she put me onto it, and then what happens is it became such an acquired taste, where it was like the beer became so refreshing, and it became an acquired taste. I just loved it so much. I started to do it bring it to Drink Champs, because on Drink Champs, we're drinking what we really enjoy. Like, what we really do drink is what we drink. Right. And that's what I do. I'm drinking beer the whole time, and then taking shots of something that I'm bringing all kinds of weird things to take shots of. Mama Juana, this Dominican stuff, aguardiente, Colombian white, which I'm involved with. So yeah, but I've been drinking beer probably for the last 3 years of the 5 years of Drink Champs.
Okay, that's crazy that the female brought you into it.
Yeah, like, shout out to my girl.
Yeah, that's good shit, man. That's rare though. It's really rare.
She did something the homies couldn't do. The homies were always trying to put me on this beer. They're like telling me, "Yo, you got to get it from the tap." And I'm like, "Man, shut the fuck up. Give me some rum, man. Give me some motherfucking rum right now." And then because that's what Drink Champs was. That it came from me and Nori having these studio sessions where we would get drunk as fuck. We'd had. At my studio, we would have all kinds of bottles of vodka and rum and all this crazy stuff. And if someone brought beer, I looked at them sideways like, get the fuck out of here with that, man. Right. But then, my girl comes into my life, and, I'm sitting at the bar with her, and she gets a nice cold one from, Draft. And then she's like, try it. And then little by little, I started to acquire that taste. And now I'm just like, I love it, man. I love beer.
Yeah, your boys is probably like, this motherfucker. Look,
oh no, they look at me crazy. They're like, yeah, motherfucker.
Whip their ass like,
yeah. Oh, she told you to drink beer. All right, now. That's exactly what happened. Right, I can't even front them. It's real. Like, they can look at me that way because it's real.
Yeah, I can only imagine, because it's like getting into the drinking craft beer. Once you have one that you like, then basically that's it for you. You just started it right there. Once you find one that you like, and to me, there's a beer for everybody. People don't know, but there's a beer for everybody out there. But even on the, without being talking just about the beer, like what got you into wanting to do podcasting? Like where did that all start from? I know you were on the radio already, but like podcasting scene, what made you jump into that lane?
I mean, it's like everything else that I've done in my career. It's all out of like necessity to continue to pivot, to stay in the game, you know, to keep the dream alive. You know, whether it was, you know, DJing in the clubs and the house parties, to making mixtapes, to open up a clothing store, to doing marketing and promotions. Like I'm always looking for the opportunity that keeps me within the realm of this music shit that I love so much.
Right.
And you know, I was doing pirate radio, I was doing college radio. I never wanted to do commercial radio because I didn't want to deal with a program director telling me what to play. That was always my thing. Okay. So I love the underground stuff. And then Nori and I, when he was working out of my studio, when I told you like kind of like the birth of the name Drink Champs came about, we started doing a show on XM radio before XM and Sirius merged.
Right. That was that Military
Crazy Raw Radio, which Nori he gave that name. I throw him under the bus. I'm like, he gave that name, and then I helped facilitate the Drink Champs name. So,
right, okay.
So he want, you know, and to his, you know, credit, he wanted to include everybody involved in that show. That's why it's a long ass name, Militainment Crazy Raw Radio. And so we did it on XM, then we did it on Sirius XM. We did it for like 2 or 3 years. We didn't make a penny off of it. We did it on my studio. We would record it and send it into the XM studios, and it was a weekly show, and we loved doing it. We had fun, and it was kind of like it was Drink Champs before Drink Champs. Right. If you listen to it, it was the same concept. And then we stopped doing it because we both got busy. I was managing a group called Mayday. This plaque is from them, a track they did with Kendrick Lamar and Tech Nine. And so they got busy touring, so I was busy with them. Then Nori put out an album with Pone again, a CNN album, and they went to Europe and toured. So we stopped, you know, we weren't making money. So it's like, there was no reason to, you know, if we got busy doing stuff that made us money.
Right. Yeah.
So we got busy. So I was thinking, all right, how could we do something like that we could do a lot easier without all the constraints of like, how long you need to have it or turn it in every week. And my homie, he had this gaming podcast called Gamer Tag Radio. His name is Godfrey, he's a Dominican homie from around here. And he was always advocating, like he was big into podcasting, going back to the internet radio days, like, because that's like where it all kind of starts. Right. And he was always like telling me like, yo, you should podcast. And I was like, sounds interesting, but I don't think people in hip hop are really onto like the podcasting thing. It just seemed like some nerdy computer shit to people.
Right. Yeah.
You know, hip hop was too serious and thugged out at the time. So, and I would tell Nori, I was like, "Yo, I think we should." And he wasn't really like grasping it like a lot of people were. He wasn't the only one. A lot of people in hip hop were like, "What is that?" You know, and you know, you had a couple people like Juan Ep, and you had Combat Jack, you had Rap Radar. Eventually, you had all these people that they were like in the forefront of it, but it was still something really like low key that if you knew, you knew. And finally, you know, it took a couple years, but long story short, finally convinced Nori to do it. A couple things came into play that also helped convince him. And my homie, the same dude that put me onto it, to podcasting, he had just got a deal with CBS Radio. And he's like, yo, you want me to make the introduction? And I was like, yeah, make the introduction. They asked us to make 2 pilot episodes, which were Kenny Anderson and Fat Joe. They loved the concept, and we came out through CBS Radio, and the rest is history.
What a pilot! Like, way to start that off.
Yeah, it was, and then mind you, like we've had Fat Joe on a bunch of times, but Fat Joe, he talks about all the time that he came over. It was in one of my offices that I had in downtown Miami, and he didn't know what he was getting into. He's like, Nori called me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Y'all got the mics. Y'all talking crazy, and he just went with it. Out of love for Nori, and we did it, and it was history, man.
I wonder why like everybody has had that stigma about podcasting though. I wonder why it was just looked at as like, because even like you were saying, like when Rap Radar and stuff started it was still kind of like on some old like, nah, that's like, what are they doing? Like at the end of the day, what's happening here? I think people learned that it was money involved, and that's what kind of changed. Now everybody wants to do a podcast. They say that once you do six episodes, that you can keep going from there. But if you don't make it to 6, then you probably ain't gonna keep going. But how many episodes are y'all in? Like this 5 years, y'all got a zillion episodes by now.
We probably like, if not 300, close to 300. I don't know. I mean, we practically one a week for as long as we've been doing. I mean, we've taken some small breaks here and there, and we've done a lot of a couple best of episodes if we needed to take a quick break. But yeah, it's a lot, man.
So let's talk about fatherhood, the fatherhood podcast. And so where did that come from? So
like I mentioned, I'm a new father in the sense that I have 2 kids that came after Drink Champ started. I have a toddler and a baby right now, and I'm out of my group of friends. As you could tell with the white beard, I'm the older one that not the older one out of my friends, but we're all the same age. I just got a white beard. I just got bad luck. But all my friends, even going back to like teenage, were already having kids, you know, that they were young fathers. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. You know, I'm staying focused. And I ended up having kids now in my life. And so I was like, oh shit, like I'm playing catch up. I'm trying to figure this out. I want to be the best father possible. And in this environment that we're working in as well. And so I was calling a lot of my homies, like trying to, figure it out before I had the kids, when my daughter first came. And so with 2 of my homies, we were like, yo, why don't we, I'm sure there's a lot of people like us that need the same information or want to hear like-minded fathers talking through this stuff,
Right.
Basically without better words, like hip hop fathers.
Yeah.
And so we were like, let's record and let's make a podcast out of it. I'm sure somebody could use this information, if not just ourselves, because we were doing it anyways on the phone. So might as well work it out in public, in a sense, the problems. And that's where fatherhoods came from. So we started to bring in guests that were, artists and DJs and people within the culture. Even some mothers. We had Angie Martinez talking about being a mother, to boys in the Me Too era,
right,
and all this different stuff. And I just think it's an important show that we do, if not for everybody else, for myself. Like I really utilize it as a parent to talk these things through with my homies that have a little bit of experience already.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like it's definitely necessary. I've been trying to get my daughter's 13. I've been trying to get her to do a podcast with me just to hear from both sides.
Yeah,
she just be on some other stuff, man. She's like, I don't want to do that. Kids hate podcasts because they don't like listening. So
yeah, that's true.
If it was TikTok, she'd be like, oh yeah, I'll do TikTok with you, but podcast, like nah. But listening to fatherhood, it's definitely a necessary podcast because it does speak from the side, because a lot of people, like you said, like for better word, hip hop dads, like fathers, don't want to reach out and ask any questions. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Too prideful.
Yeah, it's just something that with men, basically. Yeah. But we definitely don't want to reach out. And so just listening to the podcast, it gives a lot of input from different sides, and you're getting different information from it. So that's definitely dope. Do you got any other podcasts that you're doing, or is it just those 2?
No, I actually produce a bunch of podcasts. Like my idea of having a bunch of podcasts is, or the way that I'd function, better said, is that I think of an idea and I try to put it in, like, to work. Like I don't wait to see if there's a perfect time to put something out, or if I can get a deal for it or a situation.
Right.
I like to do a proof of concept. So I'll do a bunch of podcasts. So right now I have my homie that actually passed me the beers is one of our producers in the crew. You might see him on Drink Champs, Boris, aka Beats in the Hood. And we have a podcast together called Lost in Translation, because English is his second language. He doesn't speak it very well, and so I kind of take some comedy out of that with him, and he doesn't pay attention to what's going on in the world. So I ask him a bunch of questions about current events and politics and history, and he's completely lost. Not to mention he can't speak English too well, so he's lost in translation. So it's a comedy thing, and it's not to jab at an immigrant or someone who doesn't speak it, but it's just to kind of like just have fun with things like that. And we do that podcast. We do my boy does Dream Big podcast, which is also affiliated with Drink Champ Sports. That's produced in-house. My other homies do another one called Grumpy OGs, which you know, we're all like together, affiliated, kind of producing it together. Whether I'm officially a part of it or not, you know, anything that's affiliated with the crew, you know, I'm there to support.
Right. That's dope. What about am I right?
Smoke Champs as well.
Smoke Champs, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Smoke Champs. So I haven't even caught Smoke Champs yet. I haven't even caught one.
We haven't released yet. We haven't.
Okay. When is
just record a shit ton of stuff? Yeah.
Okay. When are y'all planning on releasing that?
It'll be real soon. We've been doing a lot of events. Yeah.
I was gonna say no exact dates if you don't know. Just
yeah. We're smoking. Everybody's high. They don't know. Shout out to the Smoke Champs podcast.
Yeah. So is that gonna be similar to Drink Champs, having guests on there?
Yeah. No, we already have a ton of guests that have already filmed with us. With the guys they do it in New York. And it's Young Really, which is Nori's nephew. Deuce, that has a podcast called Hood Therapy. Our homie Ching Bing. These are all guys that are from like Nori's crew as well, that were in New York. Murder Unit, if you remember Murder Unit, MU. Yeah. These guys, Thugged Out Militainment, Mike Booth. So they do the podcast of Smoke Champs, and then separately we also have Smoke Champs, the products that are going to come soon, which is a separate thing. But it's all in the family, man.
That's crazy. You got your hands in a lot of pots, man.
Trying, man. Like I said, man, you gotta continuously look for those different revenue streams and you know what make up for what doesn't work with what does work, and you just gotta keep it moving. So what inspired you to basically keep going and keep building like that? I mean, I've always been pretty driven, man, to be honest with you, but now because of the kids, it's a whole different drive. Mm-hmm. You know, now it's a matter of you know, legacy. It's a matter of making sure that I maintain a quality of life that these kids have been living. So like, you know, it could only go down. So I want to make it better. So it's either keep it status quo or better. And in this industry, you know, sometimes we get very comfortable and we think that because we're making some money today, that's promised tomorrow. And that's just not the case. And so when it's just me by myself, that's easy. You know what I'm saying? I could go back to a 1-bedroom apartment with cockroaches and ramen noodles, no problem. But I ain't gonna do that to my kids. So that's the new drive that I have, to make sure that I keep exploring how I keep this money coming in and provide for the family.
Do you think that you would be able to do that yourself if you was by yourself, go back to ramen noodles?
I've done it. Really? I've done it, man.
I'd do anything in my power not to go back to that life. Boy.
I mean, ramen noodles ain't that bad.
I mean, ramen noodles, nah. I still got ramen noodles, but like the roaches and all that shit.
Oh no, roaches I fucking hate, man. Fuck a roach, man. Fuck a roach. Like I will scream like a bitch when a roach run around, like raid and throw shit at the roach. Nah, fuck a roach for sure. I'll go sleep outside if there's a roach inside. I hate roaches, man.
That shit like me with I don't like mice, man. And some people don't bother them, but I'm like, hell no. Like,
I mean, it should bother you if it's in your crib. Hey, like a
that's
fucking
what I'm saying. Keep your ass outside. Like what the but
that's a bad sign.
Like it's some people that just they don't care. Like, oh, it's a mouse. I seen a mouse. Okay.
Nah, now, you know what I don't mind is lizards. That sometimes, because you know we're in Miami, so sometimes a lizard run in the crib, and you'll be like, "Fuck, I'm not gonna go and look for the motherfuckers." And I don't mind the lizard because they eat the roaches.
Oh, okay.
So let them live. Let them live. Eat the fucking roaches, live, man.
Fuck the roaches. Yo, that's funny. With the are you still doing any DJing at all?
Not really. Yeah, I don't have time. I mean, right in front of me, I got my turntable set up. I still spin. Right. Like, you know, because I'm a DJ, just as a hobby, but I don't have time to gig like that. And I respect the art of DJing so much that I get offered money to do gigs all the time, and good money. But if I don't practice a set or feel confident that, okay, this is a good set, right, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna kill it, I don't do it because I just respect the art form so much. You know, there's a lot of push button DJs nowadays. I just can't do it because I don't come from that, you know?
Right. Oh, so you actually got 2 turntables.
Oh, yeah, I got 2 right in front of me right now.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I respect that, definitely. And then it seems like all the work that you're doing, it's really hard to find time to do
especially when you got kids, man. It's right now I got young ones that need a lot of attention from me. And so, I don't have time to do shit, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. So how's that been working out for you with the two little ones? Like they especially how small they are. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's tough. It takes a lot of energy. Shout out to my girl who does a lot, but it's tough because I come from a broken home. My parents were divorced, and when you grow up like that, you just don't, you want to give everything you didn't have to your kids.
Right.
And my mom and I, we had very little growing up, and we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, like I said. I mean, even before I on my own, but with her, we had it rough. So everything for me is like making sure that whatever I went through, my kids don't have to go through that. So I'm just like extra sensitive to that, and as much as I could be there with them and present, that's important to me, because tomorrow's not it's not guaranteed, man.
Right.
Anything could happen these days, and so I just want to make experiences and memories with my kids as much as I can. So yeah.
And how have with the pandemic and quarantine and what have you, like how has that affected business wise and also like family wise?
Well, business wise, we've been very lucky in terms of the Drink Champs and like content creation side of things with with what I do, because it's all digital. And we had, it's like specifically to Drink Champs and other things that I do, we had contracts in place that as long as we continue to deliver content, we're going to get our money. And so we started to do the quarantine episodes when everything got locked down. We took advantage of Zoom. We had a great team that we got creative with it, and we were able to, without a hiccup, continue to deliver episodes that were aired on Revolt, that came out on YouTube, that came out audio. And so that didn't change our money at all.
Right.
The money side of it. With the family, everything was pretty good, actually, to be honest with you. The only thing that was difficult is that my son was born in the middle of the pandemic, right in the beginning. Luckily, we didn't do it traditionally in the hospital. We did a natural childbirth. Okay. So we didn't have, like, if you go to the hospital, like, they weren't letting people in. Like, I wouldn't have been able to been in the room, or like, it would have been just all kinds of craziness, pandemic, within the precautions that they take. Luckily, with this situation, we did it all natural in a birthing center, which was way more lax, and allowed myself and some of the family to be there in the room.
Did y'all use like a doula? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, we had a midwife, doula, all of that.
Doula. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's
dope.
My
son was born in the water. He was born in the tub. He was a water birth. This is fucking dope.
Yo, I've seen it. I never experienced it like with my in live, but I've seen it done. It seems interesting, crazy, real crazy.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's nuts. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. I don't want to hold you too long. I know you busy. You got things to do, man. But shout out to you. What's your boy name who hooked this up, man?
Jay Havana.
Yeah. Definitely shout out to him. He kept in touch, man. He did real good with that, with keeping in touch and letting me know what's going on. So I definitely appreciate it.
Good.
But we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I do appreciate you for coming on, man. Yo,
my pleasure, man.
Everybody just make sure y'all check out Drink Champs if you're already not, and definitely check out Fatherhood. Good information on there, and make sure you stay locked in to Brewsing Banter podcast as well. But actually, before you go, what I want you to do is just tell everybody where they can actually find you at, or any of your endeavors, anything that you're into.
Sure, man. My company is Crazy Hood, so crazyhood.com is the website. And I got a documentary series that I've been working on as well for a couple of years now. So check for that. Coming Home. It's a film series. It's like Anthony Bourdain meets hip hop. A lot of people say Anthony Bourdain, rest in peace to him, but it definitely is in that same vein.
Okay.
Check that out. Drinkchamps.com for everything Drink Champs, at Who's Crazy on Instagram, at DJ EFN on Twitter. And yeah, bro, that's it. Crazyhood.com.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. And make sure you check out Brewsing Banter podcast on all streaming platforms. Y'all know where they at. You can find us everywhere. YouTube.
Sip up.
Yeah. And do all that good shit. Make sure y'all support your local breweries and all that good stuff. All right. Peace.